Well, it's just a handful of days before Christmas. It is sufficiently cold outside, and I got a little bit of time to spend in the garage today. So I'm going to try to get a couple of things done. Of course, the notchback always needs to have things done, and I want to do things to the notchback, but the more time I spend on this car, the less time I spend on some of the other things that are very, very important to be done, and I don't get done. And then I wind up with what is an embarrassing garage. I have oil that needs to be taken back. I have various things that either need to be put into a better place or recycled or whatever. And yeah. And believe it or not, I am what I refer to as a recovering hoarder. And so this is a lot better than it would have been if I hadn't checked myself. And I'm gonna try to do a little bit of something about it today and in the coming days and weeks and months. I mean, this bike, this was my youngest son's bike. He hasn't fit this bike in years and years. Like, I probably should have got it ready and tried to, you know, sell it to somebody for Christmas or maybe donate it or something, but I haven't. And so, yeah, today I'm gonna make a scrap metal run and oil. Can't get rid of coolant today, so it's only special days that you can do that. But anyway, gonna see what I can get done today, and I'm going to try attempt number 2.
How much like it? Was it the same cat?
At cleaning out my throttle cable, and actually the throttle cable tube specifically. I already cleaned the throttle cable. That didn't last very long. We'll go after the tube and see if I can make a more long-lasting benefit. Now, a vast majority of the clutter in my garage is my fault, but here are a few items that actually belong to my older son. So today he'll be getting a text message. Do you want these, or am I throwing them away?
A tree grew around this hood, and I managed to separate the two. Then I gathered up these piles of metal, but still managed to forget a few things.
Well, as they often do, the day has just sort of become what it's going to be all on its own. Set out to work on my throttle cable tube and do a little bit of cleaning up in the garage, and instead it pretty much just turned up to cleaning up in the garage. It's relatively a small amount of work that I've done, all things considered, but I'm still pretty happy with it. The far corner of my garage is organized a bit better where my bike likes to live, and I've got this big pile of metal behind me and under this tarp and on top of this tarp that is going to make its way into the dumpster on the other side of me here at my friend Aaron's shop. And before anybody starts thinking, dude, that's not cool, know this, that while I don't know if they pay to have the dumpster removed or if they get paid for the metal in the dumpster, a lot of the metal in my garage came from a previous iteration of this dumpster, so it all probably just sort of washes out. So anyway, I'm gonna unload all that stuff and feel pretty good about the organization and purging that I have done today. Not bad. Well, we're back to this familiar scene. And disconnect my throttle cable, pull it out from the underside, from the other side, and see if we can clean this thing out a little better this time. Well, as it turns out, I don't have any hose that's the right size, but I do have this wonderful silicone hose that will probably clamp down all right if I get a clamp on there. I like to reuse things, not waste wherever I can. So I'm not going to cut this hose, even though it might make sense to. I'm going to use my baling bucket for my canoes and just spit it down into there. I'll be able to see it real well and see how nasty it looks. So here's the plan. Gonna squirt a little WD-40 down the tube, maybe more than just a little. Let it set in there a little bit. Chase it with some compressed air. And when everything's all done, I'll use this product here that my father-in-law handed to me and said would be really good for lubing up that cable. Well, with it shooting back out so quickly and easily like that, I kind of feel like there's maybe some blockage in there. I'm going to go ahead and put some air pressure to it, see what we can get out of it, and then probably repeat. All right, how many of you spotted my mistake? More importantly, how many of you non-type 3 people spotted my mistake? When I hooked the tube onto here to see all the stuff that I blew out of my throttle cable tube, well, this thing is about this long. It doesn't actually connect all the way through to the body of the car. If I would have wanted to see all the stuff that I collected blowing that out, I would have had to have gotten, right in that area in there and hooked up. Oops, oh well. Hey, at least the effect is the same. So I could really just guesstimate, but I don't know. I just like doing things the harder way for some reason. You know, in my mind, it's more accurate maybe. So I'm just gonna shove this cable through from this end and take it all the way to the body of the car and then come over here and, you know, kind of mark where I am and know that I don't need to put any lube on any of that toward the tip because it's all just gonna be free air anyway. And here's that spot. So, from my fingers all the way to there does not need lube. That would just have been completely wasted lube. We'll just get the rest of it. I've never really worked with this stuff before, but my father-in-law swears by it and had several tubes of it, handed it to me and said, this is what we used. It's really good. And I, you know, kind of like an idiot, I left it out in the garage, you know, while it was real cold out. So it's a little bit solid, but seems to be becoming compliant against the metal here. So I'll just kind of get a decent coating of this and start pushing it through and get it all the way along it. Should be a whole lot better. All right, let's see if we can do this. And you know, by we I mean the royal we, which is me.
Yeah, I really can't discern the tube with all the light coming through. Wait, hang on.
Okay, maybe that's it. Let's find out. Ugh. No, absolutely not. Okay, but I see my mistake. Let's try again. All right. Yeah, I just can't even see the hole from down there. I was gonna try to stab it right through, but it didn't work, obviously. All right, let's see if I can do this. If I can get this wire out of the way. Oh, come on, I know it's in the right area. Yes, not too bad. That can be a lot harder. Cool. All right. Time for a drive. So yes, we've been here before, but here we are again, and I'm driving the car after cleaning, this time not only the throttle cable, but also the throttle cable tube, and then applying Sil-Glyde. And yeah, it's amazing. It's a completely different car. You know, it's one of those things where you don't realize just how ridiculous it is, because it, you know, just sort of progressively gets worse, you know, and you start thinking, oh, do I have these other problems, you know, and then meanwhile, like, it's just the freaking cable is like sticking in there, but, you know, not like reliably sticking, you know, it's really odd the way it does. And so yeah, back to super smooth and able to just put that throttle right exactly where you want it, which is actually going to be difficult to get used to again, but I'm looking forward to it. So I'll call this one a success. I got lots more stuff coming up. My God, I'm really excited, man. I've got my outside scrapers, so I now have all of the rubber and all of the felt and everything it takes to redo my doors. I'm going to do that soon. I've got another very exciting secret on the way. It's not a secret to me. It's not a secret to my family. And I've got several other things that I'm still trying to kind of get worked out. So lots more to come. Keep watching. Thanks for watching.